Hello, friends. Welcome to Day of Soccer. My name is Delali Frank, and this is News Daily, where I serve you with all the major trending news in the last few hours. In today's edition, we're going to talk about Ghanaian players abroad. I have updates of Ghanaian players and every player that play for the Black Stars, how they are performing at their club side. I have some updates for you, I have some injury updates for you, and everything. We're going to talk about Mohamed Kudus, talk about Andre Ayew, talk about Jordan Ayew, who has renewed his contracts. Literally have updates for everybody. Salisu, whether he's fit to play. We're also going to talk about Dennis Ode, whether he's also now available for selection. If it's your first time here, please hit on the subscription button and let's build this community together. But without wasting much time, let's get straight into today's news. So let's start from the English Premier League, and we're going to start with Crystal Palace, where Jordan Ayew plays for them. But before that, let's take a moment and celebrate Chelsea's victory. Yes, Chelsea has sacked Graham Potter, and it's the best news ever to happen in world football so far as Chelsea is concerned. Chelsea has now finally sacked Graham Potter. That's basically what I wanted us to do. So a minute of silence to that, and let's celebrate as Chelsea fans. Now let's get to business. So Jordan Ayew's Crystal Palace played against Leicester City and beat them by 2 goals to 1 in a game that Andre Ayew. Why do I keep on saying Andre Ayew? In the game that Jordan Ayew played only 45 minutes, but performed brilliantly well. He came in, and in the last minutes, Jordan provided an assist, a brilliant assist that ended up giving Crystal Palace the maximum 3 points. When he came in, it was 1-1. Crystal Palace were hoping to get a win, and then he provided a brilliant assist, which ended up being a goal. It was one of the best assists that Jordan has provided. He had a rating of 7.7 and also made some few brilliant moves. He had a successful dribble of 1 out of 4, which is 25%. He made recovery of 4. As we always been saying, that Jordan Ayew has now moved from a defensive winger, that kind of thing. That's what he did. He won ground duels of 3 out of 6. For a player like him, involved in such ways, means he's good. He won 2 fouls for his team, but at the end of the day, in that 45 minutes that he played, he made total 2 shots on target and then 1 assist. That's good for Jordan Ayew, for a player who is just coming back from international break playing for the Black Stars. It was a good performance from Jordan Ayew. In that same game, Leicester City had a Ghanaian in there, which is Daniel Amate, but Daniel Amate did not feature in the game. He was on the bench. He was actually part of the team, but he actually did not feature in that particular game. Let's move to still in the English Premier League, but let's talk about one player whose team is battling relegation now. I'm talking about Southampton. At this point, Southampton are not well positioned and they are in huge trouble. They find themselves at the bottom of the league, which is not good. It's really not good when you have a player in a team that is battling relegation. So when I say Southampton, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Kamal Dean Sulemana. He came on at the 54th minute, came in on the left side of the attack as a left winger, literally what we call the number 11. He had a rating of 6.5. He had 1 shot attempts. He had touches of 24. He had 1 out of 3 total dribbles. I think it was literally an okay performance from Kamaldeen for a player coming from the club side. But one thing about him is that it looks as if this is a team that he will get enough starting time. Like he is a team that they will give him time to play, an opportunity to show up and play some brilliant football. But if a team is struggling, battling with relegation, it's pretty much very difficult for a player. Still in the English Premier League, let's talk about Ayew's Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest played a 1-1 draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers at home, and Ayew was in the team. And I'm talking about him because he was like he was considered injured in that Ghana to double header. And I think it looks as if he has recovered beautifully and he was part of the team sheet, which is good for Ghana because you always want your players to be active and playing active football. So still in the English Premier League, let's move and talk about Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey's Arsenal currently have 72 points and they are leading the league table. They are hoping and praying that they'll be able to win the league. So Arsenal played against Leeds United. It was pretty much a game that a lot of Arsenal fans were expecting Arsenal to win. And I think now at this point, Arsenal can stop winning games. They managed to win by 4 goals to 1 against Leeds United. Partey didn't play the entire 90 minutes, but played 60 minutes. You know, now Arsenal, they are managing Partey. So Partey played 60 minutes, had a rating of 7.0, which is 7 out of 10, which is good, good. Like it can be excellent, yeah. He had an accurate passes of 44 out of 46, which is brilliant. That's only 2 misses. 44 out of 46 attempts, which is a percentage of 96. He had long balls, a total long balls of 3 out of 3, which is purely successful. That's Partey's strength. He had 53 touches in the game and made 8 passes into the final third. Made 1 clearance, made 1 interception, made a recovery of 5. This is the Thomas Partey we want to see the Black Stars. But Partey was brilliant for Arsenal. Arsenal beats Leicester City by 4 goals to 1. Arsenal's next game is big. They are playing against Liverpool. Let's see what happens. But Partey played 60 minutes. He was subbed for Jorginho. I think basically that is why they brought in Jorginho, so that he would balance Partey in the game. Travel to Netherlands and talk about Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus Ayaz made a lot of boys suffer this weekend. Trust me. A lot of people were expecting them to win and they didn't. Investors were really worried when Kudus team was playing. As a matter of fact, Kudus scored a goal that a lot of people feel it was a goal. Like there are a lot of fans that believe and have a feeling that Kudus attempt at goal should have stood, but his goal was disallowed as an offside. But one thing about Kudus now is that get him closer to the goal area and he will score. But Kudus in the Black Stars team seems not to be able to perform, and it's basically because he's playing out of, like, Kudus plays on the right side of the attack, like 4-3-3, typical 4-3-3. He plays on the right side of the Ayaz team. He's a midfielder. But in Ghana, we play him as a midfielder and we suffer. Ayaz played against Go Ahead Eagles. That's an interesting name. They played against Go Ahead Eagles and drew 0-0. Kudus had played the entire 90 minutes, had a rating of 6.7. Not really one of his best games. Quite a dull game. Had 4 out of 8 dribbles, successful dribbles, which is 50%. 1 out of 2 accurate crosses. Literally an okay performance from Mohamed Kudus. The goal would have, if the goal stood, it would have helped him. Ayaz currently lies second on the league table. They are hoping to see if possibly they can win. But at this point, it looks as if it may not be possible. Now let's go to France. In France, I have some good news for you. The Ghanaian defender who was injured and has been out of the team, I'm talking about Alidu Seidu returned into the team and walked straight into the starting 11 of Clermont Foot. Alidu was part of Clermont Foot's team that won by 2-1, which is pretty much good because the Ghanaian was injured. He played as a center back. That guy can literally play at any position in his team, like literally any position in his team. As far as the backside is concerned, he played as a center back, had a rating of 7.1, played 80 minutes. That's brilliant. 80 minutes, had a total pass accuracy of 66 out of 71, which is 93% total pass accuracy. Went for one tackle, won it, made 3 clearances, made 1 headed clearance, intercepted 1, and made 5 ball recoveries. He ground duels, he won 3 out of 4 as a center back. He's 22 years. That means the guy can play for the Black Meteors. So. Seems so. Or I have to confirm. If he's 22 and he can play for the Black Meteors, Charlie, sharp, let's get him involved. But it's good to have Alidu Seidu back because he's that player that if you have him in your team, you are good to go because of his ability to play at so many areas in the defense. So if you have him in your team, center back gets injured, he walks in. Right back gets injured, he walks in. That's good. Still in France, yeah? We are still in France. Let's talk about Salis. Salis Lens are second on the league table. They have 60 points behind Paris Saint-Germain, who has 66 points. The team literally played against Rennes, or Rennes, I don't know how you pronounce it, and they won by 1-0. Samed Abdul Salis was brilliant on the day. He played as a typical number 8, that kind of football. He had a rating of 7.3, played in the entire 90 minutes, had a passing accuracy of 87, which is 49 out of 55. He made a touches of 68. He's that kind of player who is not scared of asking for the ball. He always show up, give me the ball. Yeah, he's 23 years old. That means he can play for Black Meteors. Now, I'm now checking for players that can play for Black Meteors because Ghana needs to qualify for the next Olympic Games. He won ground drills of 2 out of 5, which is 40%, and had an interception of 5, made 6 recoveries, and blocked 1 attempt. That's good for a young man. He played the entire 90 minutes for Lens in day 1. He's a brilliant midfielder, one of those players that is doing very well in club side and boots in the national team. Don't mind my dog, okay? Thank you. Let's go to Belgium and talk about Joseph Painstil. Joseph Painstil's gang won by 2-0 in a game that Painstil himself didn't score. I think so far he has always been scoring. Either he scores or he provides an assist, but this time around the young man couldn't get on the score sheet either as an assist. But his team is leading the league table. They have 71 points against Union Galossoy, and we are hoping that they will keep that lead and perhaps win the league. But Joseph Painstil played on the right side of the team, received a yellow card, had a rating of 8.4. That is just 0.1 out of the man of the match performance. Like that's a brilliant performance from the Ghanaian. He's always good, played the entire 90 minutes, had 80% accuracy, created 2 chances. That's great, man. Had a shot accuracy of 3 out of 4, which is 75%. He made some, like he had a lot of chances. He hit the goal post and all that. He had 3 big chances miss. That means he was very close to scoring, and he missed a lot of chances. He had touches of 64 and a successful dribble of 3 out of 5, which is 60%. The young man is high flying. Although today he didn't score, provided an assist, but he was super. You know, a lot of Ghanaian players are in Belgium, yeah? So I'm going to give you updates on all of them. We will move to Ashimeru, who was literally the man of the match in his Anderlecht game. Anderlecht played Kasupen and they beat them by 1 goal to 0. They went away and beat them by 1 goal to 0. Ashimeru played the entire he played 77 minutes, but was the man of the match. Played 77 minutes, but was the man of the match. That's brilliant footballer. He had a rating of 8.6 with 2 chances created. Had an accurate pass of 90%, which is 44 out of 49. He had touches of 72. He had a successful dribble of 100%, which is 3 out of 3. Passes into the final third. That's the guy's strength. Passes into the final third. Made passes into the final third, which is 66. He had an accurate pass of 3, an accurate long pass of 3 out of 3. That's a big one from the Ghanaian. In that same game, there's Manaf Nuruddin who was involved in that, but he didn't play. I'm worried for him. I feel he's just one game away. He's just one good goalkeeper away from losing his spot in the national team. But he was on bench. The guy is not getting chance to play at Kasupen. And as a goalkeeper, if you are not playing, see now we have Walokot. Walokot is also not playing. We have Atizigi playing. If any young player goalkeeper shows up somewhere, I'm afraid he might be dumped. Still in Belgium, Denis Professor Odoi, who was injured and was asked to go back home, and the Black Stars were playing, has recovered, which is brilliant. To have him recover is good. He has recovered. But he didn't play. He was part of his team. That's Club Rouge team's match day squad. Club Rouge won by 3 goals to 0 away, but the professor didn't play this time around. He was on the bench. He was part of the team, but didn't play, which is good. At least to have him return from injury is pretty much good news. Spain and wrap up. Joseph Seidu was in action for his team in Spain. His side drew 2 goals to 2. They couldn't keep a clean sheet. Now it's more difficult to keep a clean sheet, trust me. So Celta Vigo drew 2-2 with Almeria in a game that was you score, I equalize kind of thing. Painstil lasted the entire 90 minutes, had a rating of 6.3. Sorry, Joseph Seidu lasted the entire 90 minutes, had a rating of 6.3. As a defender, he had an accurate pass of 89%. He had 76 touches. That's a ball-playing defender. He attempted 12 long passes, had 10 successful. As a defender, he had 1 head clearance, recovery of 8, and dribble past 1. Ground was 1, it was 1 out of 3. And the young man had an area 1 of 1 out of 3. As it's let's check on Inaki Williams too as well. Inaki Williams' team lies 7th on the league table. I think they are always well positioned, but unfortunately Inaki still didn't score. He's a player that is always in the team starting 11, but does not play as a striker. You know, plays on the right side, on the left side. Like he's not part of the strikers. He's literally part of the midfielders. His team plays a 4-2-3-1. And he's part of the 3 supporting midfielders. So Black Stars know how to use the boy. Inaki had a rating of 6.7. Still yet to score, Charlie. Maybe the guy is really not a goal scorer. Like Inaki has never been a goal scorer. And the 28-year-old man, I think we should look at these players and play them in their very favorite positions instead of forcing them to be strikers. So that's how we're going to bring today's edition to an end. Who was your best player? I think my best player throughout the week is Anderlecht's Majid Ashimeru. The guy is good. Such a brilliant footballer. I love what he does, and I wish those guys the best of luck. Friends, this is where we're going to bring the show to an end. My name is Elali Frank. Just stay also count to meet again. Bye bye for now.